The history of fabric in India is one of the most ancient in the world. The oldest surviving cotton threads go back to 4000 BC, and dyed textiles go back to 2500 BC. So as you come into the first room, it explores the fabric, so cottons and silks and all the different types, what they're made from and how they're made, as well as techniques like dyeing, printing and threading. And you're explained all this through, so you have the fabrics themselves displayed and the videos, and there's also a desk where you can feel the different fabrics. And I've really enjoyed that, because in most exhibitions you don't get to feel, you don't get to touch things, and because it's fabric, that's one of the most important things that you want to do. You want to touch it, see how it feels. So all of them feel very different from one another. And then one of my favourite things was the video, where you learn the process of printing. And I've bought some cards from the V&A gift shop to show you just how detailed the printing patterns are. So for example, like this, you can see, I mean, just how small and how detailed it everything has to be, and all of them are very different from each other, but very beautiful. So these and this one, and this. So but what was really interesting about the printing video for me, so before you even begin to think about printing, you have to make this block of wood. And in the video, the man who makes it, he makes it look so simple, but actually, as you can see, so you have to, on the wood, you carve out a pattern, which then you want to print on the fabric. So as you can see, some of them can be just really, really tiny, and it was just incredible to see how the actual blocks are made. Yeah, so it's very much an education for. I personally didn't know exactly how threading works, and you appreciate them so much more because you realise just how much effort goes into every tiny inch of them. The show has so many beautiful textiles on the display. There's a room dedicated to textiles and religion, and India is the home to many religions like Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists. And the room contains textiles that would have been hung in shrines or temples, and they depict religious stories. Also, there are textiles from royal courts, and there are these really marvellous and luxurious fabrics, and they're probably some of the best textiles ever made. Indian textile makers exported cloth to Middle East, Mediterranean, Africa and Asia, and that was all before the European traders arrived in 1498. So by the 18th century, Indian textiles were reaching Japan and the Americas. And what's interesting is that these textiles were tailored specifically to the different countries that they were going to. But industrialization dramatically altered the textile trade. In the 19th century, when India was still part of the British Empire, British factories were now able to produce huge quantities of cloth and yarn, and they were able to do it cheaply and really fast. So they were putting lots of people in India out of work. And Gandhi, in the early 20th century, created a movement called Swadeshi and encouraged people to reject machinery and to weave by hand in the name of protest. And it's actually very moving because the Indian flag adopted a spinning wheel, and it just shows how big a part fabric and played in Indian identity. I would love to see an entire exhibition dedicated to this, just to see exactly what happened in more detail. I'm sure that there would have been nationalist textile, special textile designs that were created, and just exactly what went on. As this exhibition moves closer to the end, Indian textiles are explored in our current contemporary society. So how designers are reinterpreting the traditional techniques and patterns, and also how textiles are used in art. And there's a photographer called Manu who has a blog, Whereabout. I'm going to put a link on the video now because I can't include photographs for copyright reasons. Manu photographs people across India wearing handmade textiles, so do have a look. It's a very interesting blog. I loved this exhibition and I really recommend it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have seen the exhibition, do share your thoughts. I would love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!